Hi, ma'am. Hi, guys. I am Martin Colin Reyes. I am going to discuss Module 3, the Institutional Agency of Philippines. Table of Content: Code of Calantiao, Bilibid Prison, San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm, Ihawi Penal Colony, New Bilibid Prison, Davao Penal Colony, and Institutional Correction of the Philippines. Introduction: The Philippine correction system is composed of the institutions in the government, civil society, and the business sector involved in the confinement, correction, and restoration of persons charged for and convicted of delinquent acts of crimes. The public sector formulates and sounds policies and rules of corrections, penology, and jail management, rehabilitation, and restorations. All prisons or penitentiaries, jails, and detention centers are under the direct control and supervision of the government. The government plays a dominant role in the correction and rehabilitation of offenders. The civil society, which includes the non-government organizations, people's organizations, religious organizations, academia, and the media, provides support services such as health services, training, livelihood, spiritual guidance, and counseling. It also active in advocacy and social mobilization for the protection of inmates' human rights and enhancement of access to justice. The business sector has minimal participation in correction services but offers tremendous opportunities for improved efficiency and public sector exit options. Concise history of the Bureau of Corrections. Corrections in the Philippines started during pre-colonial times. It was, however, organized on an individual community basis it was only during the Spanish regime when organized corrective service was made operational. When the American took over in the 90s, the Bureau of Prisons was created under the Reorganization Act of 1905, Act number 1407 dated November 1, 1905. The main penitentiary was the Old Bilibid Prison in Market Street, Manila, which was established in 1847 pursuant to Section 1708 of the Revised Administrative Code. It was formally opened by a royal decree in 1865. When the American took over in 90s, the Bureau of Prisons was created under the Reorganization Act of 1905 as an agency under the Department of Commerce and Police. Produce were transferred through all rail tracks, a mode which the Americans introduced to prisons. Prisoners had to contend with dilapidated facilities within the cramped area. It would reach an aggregate total land of 40,000 hectares in the late 1950s. It was located in the westernmost part of the archipelago and far from the main town to the confinement incorrigibles for would the government and found little of rehabilitation. The area was expanded to 41,000 hectares by virtue of Executive Order No. 67 issued by Governor Newton Gilbert on October 15, 1912. The CIW was founded to provide separate facilities for women offenders to cater their gender difference. To date, it is the lone women's prison in the country. Owing to the increasing number of commitments to the old Bilibid prison in Manila, the new Bilibid prison was established in 1935 in southern suburb of Mandaluyong, Rizal. Prisoners have to believe their basic housing areas during materials available in prison reservation. After the American regime, two more penal institutions were established. These were on September 26, 1954 and Little Regional Prison under the Proclamation number 1101 issued on January 16, 1973. Number 1. Correctional Institutions for Women. The Correctional Institutions for Women, or CIW, is a women's prisons located in Mandaluyong, Metro Manila, Philippines. The prison is operated by the Bureau of Corrections. The first opened on a 18-hectare or 54-acre property of February 14, 1931. Previously, women were held at the Old Bilibid Prison. When they became the women were confined in a separate building which served as hospital with nurses and prison physicians. When women prisoners needed surgery, they were operated on the Bilibid prison. After the operation, they were transferred to the Informe for convalescence prisons. Authorities were referred the conditions of the women prisoners and how to ensure. Consequently, the transfer of the women to separate site became inevitable. On February 14, 1931, the women prisoners were transferred from the old Bilibid prison to the building specially constructed for them. Its old name, Women's Prison, was changed to Correctional Institutions for Women. During the Japanese occupation, the CIW, despite a drastic reduction in the number of its employees, continued with its work. A number of female military prisoners were also confined in the situation. They were later freed by the U.S. Army. After the war, the CAW resumed its normal operations. Weekly catechism classes were introduced. A dental clinic was built. Local telephones were installed in the guard quarters. The Bureau of Public Works made major repairs on the main building and a workshop and infirmary constructed for the inmate use. Fast fact, the correctional institution for women. Manila, Philippines. The correctional institutions for women serve as the new place of detention of Alert Burke and Barrel scam mastermind Janet Lim Napoles. After she was found guilty on Tuesday, April 14 of serious illegal detention. The infirmary during the time could accommodate around 16 patients. In 2000, a new four-story building was constructed by the Department of Public Workers within the grounds of CAW. CAW, located in Mandaluyong City, it is the country's first and only penal institution dedicated to women's offenders. It was later renamed to CAW in keeping with emerging trends in penology which emphasize corrections rather than punishments. The original building was named by fire in 1982 due to faulty wiring and reconstructed more than a year. Congestions expansions. CAW faced congestion problems as a will come an increasing number of inmates. Former Bucor officers in charge also Celso Bravo narrated in our part. In 2002, the National Statistical Coordination Board reported that CAW was actually the most congested facility among the 7 operating units under Bucor, while the new prison registered an 85% congestion rate with 16,134 population but only 8,700 capacity. CIW posted a higher 90% congestion rate with 951 population but only 500 capacity. In 2013, President Benigno Aquino III signed Republic Act 10575, which modernizes the Bucor by upgrading its facilities, increasing the number of its personnel, upgrading the level of qualifications of their personnel, and standardizing their base pay, retirement, and other benefits. Upon arrival at CIW, inmates are brought to the receiving office. They will go through an inspection. Items like money will be taken and put in their prison record while drugs and medicines will be given to a medical officer for dispensation. Rehabilitation. Bravo stated in his report that CIW approach to rehabilitation involves religion, education, livelihood, and social skills, all of which are needed for the inmates' preparation for their release. Facilities of CIW Mandaluyong. CIW has 3 different camps inside the prison reservation: medium security, maximum security, medium security, and minimum security. Code of Calentao. The Code of Raha Calentao was a supposed legal code in the epic history Maragtas that is said to have been written in 1433 by Dato Calantiac, chief of the island of Negros in the Philippines. The code is now believed by many historians to have been hoax and that is had actually have been written in 1913 by Jose E. Marco. In 1990, Philippine historian Teodoro Argoncillo described the code as a deceptive document. Despite on its authenticity, some history texts continue to represent it as historical fact. Article 1. You should not kill, neither shall you steal, nor you shall hurt the aged, lest you incur the danger of death. All who is the order shall infringe shall be tied to a stone and drowned in a river in boiling water. Article number 2. You shall not punctually meet your death with your headman. He who fulfills not for the first time you shall be lashed 100-fold, and if the obligation is great, his hand shall be dipped 3-fold in boiling water. On conviction, he shall be flogged to death. Article number 3. Obey you, no one shall have wives that are too young, nor shall be they more than what he can take care of, nor spend much luxury. He who forfeits not obeys not shall be condemned to swim 3 hours, and for the second time you shall be scourged with spines to death. Article 4. Observe and obey. Let not the peace of the graves be disturbed. Due to respect must accorded them on passing by caves and trees where they are. Who observes shall not be died by bites of ants, and shall be flogged with spines till death. Article 5. Obey. Exchange in foods must be carried out faithfully. He who complies shall not be lashed for an hour. Who repeat the act shall for a day exposed to the ants. Article number 6. You shall not respectable places, trees of no value, and other sites he shall pay a month's work in gold or money. Whoever fails to do this and twice committed he shall be declared a slave. Article number 7. They shall die who kill trees of noble aspect, who at night shoot with arrows the aged man and the woman, who enters the house of a headman without permission, he will kill a fish or shark or strip crocodile. Article number 8. They shall be slave for a given time who steal away the woman of the headman. We will possess dogs that bite the headman. He will burn another man's house on field. Article number 9. They shall be slave for a given time who sing in their night errands, kill manual birds, tear documents belonging to the headman, who are evil-minded liars who play with the dead. Article number 10. It should be obligation every moment to show her daughter secretly the things that are lascivious, and prepare them for womanhood. Men shall not be cruel to their wives, nor should they punish them when they catch them in the act of adultery. He who disobeys shall be turned to pieces and thrown to the Caymans. Article number 11. They shall be burned who by force or cunning have mocked at inflicted punishment, or will be killed 2 young boys, or shall try to steal the women of the old men. Article number 12. They shall be thrown as slaves who assault their superior of their lords and masters, and also abuse their luxury with those who kill their annetus by breaking them or throwing them away. Article number 13. They shall be exposed to the ants for half day who kill black cat during the new moon or steal things belong to the headman. Article number 14. They shall be slave for life for having beautiful daughters shall deny to the sons of the headman, or shall hide them in bad faith. Article number 15. Concerning their beliefs and superstition, they shall be urged to eat bad meat or respective insects or herbs that are supposed to be good, or kill the young manual bird and the white monkey. Article number 16. Their fingers shall be cut off or break wooden or clay idols in their alangans and places of oblations. He will break the Tagalans daggers for hog killing, or breaks drinking vases. Article number 17. They shall be killed or profane places where sacred objects of their deities or headmen are buried. He who gives way to call of nature such as place shall be burned. Article number 18. Those who do not cause these rules to be observed of their headmen shall be stoned and crushed to death. If they are old men, shall be placed in rivers to be eaten by sharks and crocodiles. 7. Institutional correction of the Philippines. The new Bilibid prison in Muntinlupa, Metro is the main insular penitentiary designed to house the prison population of the Philippines. It is maintained by the Bureau of Correction Bucor under the Department of Justice as May 2018. The NBP housed 26,870 convicted criminals. In 1940, prisoners were transferred to the NBP from the old Bilibid prison, also known as a Cárcel y Presidio Correctional, Spanish for Correctional Jail and Military Prisons in Manila. The penitentiary had an initial land area of 551 hectares, but 104 hectares were transferred to a housing project of the Department of Justice. During Japanese occupation of the Philippines during World War II, Bilibid was a prisoner of war and civilian internment camp where American soldiers and civilians were held by the Japanese. The government of the Philippines plans to create a regional prison in Nueva Ecija through a public-private partnership. The old prison was established by the Spanish colonist government on June 25. So number 3, San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm. According to the historical accounts, the San Ramon was established in the southern Zamboanga on August 21, 1870 through a royal decree promulgated in 1869. Established during the tenure of Governor General Ramon Blanco, whose patron saint the prison was named after. In 1907, the American organization established the prison farm. In 1912, General John Pershing and the Chief Executive of the Department of Mindanao and Sulu classified the institutions as prison and a penal colony and their confined people sentenced by the courts under his jurisdiction. Under Pershing's supervision, several buildings with a capacity for 600 prisoners were constructed. After several years, the colony became practically self-supporting with 75,000 coconut trees which were planted at the beginning of the Pershing's administrations, contributing to the colony's self-sufficiency. Aside from coconuts, rice, corn, papaya, and other crops were also cultivated. On November 1, 1905, Reorganization Act No. 1407 was approved, creating the Bureau of Prison under the Department of Commerce and Police, integrating the old Bilibid Prison, San Ramon Penal Colony, and Ihawig Penal. The Philippine Coconut Authority took over management of the coconut farm from San Ramon in 1955. Congresswoman Maria Clara Labregat proposed the transfer of San Ramon Prison to Banguio Town in the mountains of area Zamboanga to give away the special economic zone, a region of San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm. The oldest penal colony in the country, the San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm in the Zamboanga City, is being eyed for relocation to give away the establishment of an industrial park. Christopher S. Marmoco, Zamboanga Zone Chairman and Administrator, said on Monday they are preparing all the necessary documents. The MOU signing will be held within the month, Arnoco told the Philippine News Agency. We have to move fast to ensure the Department of Budget and Management (DBM) and will incorporate the fund allocation in 2018 national budget. Previous administration have identified 1,200 hectares of land in barangays Bungyao and Coroan in the east coast of the city as the prison's new location. Currently, there are 1,400 inmates at the San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm. Number 4, Ihawig Penal Colony. Ihawig Penal Colony was a unique prison without bars. It was established by the Americans in 1904. The inmates' tent was formed instead of idly spending time behind bars. The Ihawig Prison and Penal Farm is one of the most popular prisons in the Philippines. It was established in 1902 by the United States for the Filipino prisoners who had fought with the Americans during their colonization. In the Philippines, the Ihawig Prison and Penal Farm is located in Barangay Ihawig. This facility was established during the American occupation. A specific area of Puerto Princesa was selected as the site of correctional facility that American military carried out a prison facility in the rainforest of Puerto Princesa. Governor Luke Wright authorized the establishment of penal colony in the province of Palawan on November 16, 1904. In 1906, however, the Department of Commerce and Police, which later became the Department of Public Instruction, moved to turn institutions into the center of penal colonies supervised in accordance with trends at the time. The settlement was at first beset by attempted escapes, but under the supervision of Col. John R. White of the Philippine Constabulary, who had become superintendent of Ihawig in 1906, the colony became a successful settlement. In 1955, Administrative Order No. 20 was promulgated by the President and implemented by the Secretary of Justice and Secretary of Agriculture and Natural Resources. On August 16, 1959, a committee was created by President Carlos P. Garcia to study the state of national prisons. Accordingly, prisoners in Ihawig were divided into two groups, the settlers and the colonists. They are required to reimburse expenditures incurred for their maintenance and of their families out of the produce of their farms. Upon the release from the colony, they receive whatever amount of money they have credited in their favor after deducting the obligations they have. Ihawig is subdivided in 4 zones of districts. Central Sub-Colony with an area of 14,700 hectares, Santa Lucia with 9,685 hectares, Montebul with 8,000 hectares, and Nagawan with 13,000 hectares. Recent developments and presidential proclamations have dramatically reduced the size of the prison reservation of Ihawig. Number 5. Davao Penal Colony. Davao Prison and Penal Farm, formerly the Davao Penal Colony, was established on January 21, 1932 in Panabo City, Davao del Norte, in the Philippines. It has a land of area of 30,000 hectares with a prison reservation of 8,000 hectares. During World War II, the Davao Penal Colony was the biggest prison established in the country, which was used by the Japanese invading army as their imperial garrison. The Davao Penal Colony is the first penal settlement founded and organized under the Philippine administrations. It is also granted by authority to the Secretary of Justice to establish a new prison and penal colony in a suitable public land. A budget of 500,000 was allocated. Several committees were created to pick a suitable site for the penal settlement. In accordance with the recommendation of these committees, Governor Dwight Davis signed Proclamation No. 414 on October 7, 1931. So the organization of the colony in exile was authorized by virtue of Memorandum Order No. 60 dated June 28, 1943 and signed by the Director of Prisons. After the liberation of Philippines, the colony in exile in Palawan turned to its old site in Davao. A great deal rebuilding and repair to be the one because the war had almost completely destroyed the colony. Number 6. Sablayan Prison and Penal Farm. It has a total land of 2,188.80 square kilometers, making it the largest municipality in the Philippines. Sablayan Penal Colony, Prison Colony, the Philippines' largest penal facility with sprawling lot of 6,190 hectares, 40,000 acres is located in the municipality. Prison records shows that the first colonies and employees arrived in Sablayan on January 15, 1955. Since the several buildings have been constructed, including the colonies, dormitories, employees' quarters, guardhouse, schoolhouse, chapel, recreation hall, and post exchange. 3 sub-colonies were later organized. One is a reservation, which this day remains part of a productive rainforest. Another is coastal area. Sablayan Prison is a facility where prisoners from NBP are brought for decongestion purposes. It follows the same colony standards as other penal farms. Number 7. Leyte Regional Prison. The Leyte Regional Prison, situated in Aboyog, Southern Leyte, was established a year after the declaration of martial law in 1972 by virtue of President Decree Number 28. The Leyte Regional Prison, or LRP, was created by virtue of PD Number 28 and was established on January 16, 1973 under Presidential Decree number 1101. As of March of 1987, there are about 980 prisoners housed in this regional prison, with 204 at maximum security, 550 at the medium security, and 226 at the minimum security prisons. The LRP has an inmate capacity of 500. It follows the same agricultural format as the main correctional program, in addition to some rehabilitation activities. The prison admits convicted offenders from Regional 6 and from the National Penitentiary in Muntinlupa. Leyte Prison Chief Senior Arturo Sabaristo said employees of the prison facility and the PDLs worked together for 3 months despite from the lack of equipment and machinery needed for the construction and development to complete the project. This is not a place for denounced people, but truly a facility for the holistic rehabilitation of offenders and helping them to reform and become productive citizens, Sabaristo said. The Leyte Regional Prison has a population of over 2,000 convicted offenders serving a minimum, medium, and maximum penalties. The youngest among penal penalties by the Rand Bureau of Corrections, LRP, was established in October 25, 1972 by virtue of Presidential Decree Number 28. Provincial Jail System. Under Section 61, Public Numbers 1675, under known as the Department of Interior and Local Government Act of 1990, control over jails are logged in different entities. City and municipal jails are governed by the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. On the other hand, provincial jails is under the supervision and control of the provincial government. In some, the present overall condition has led to other problems like the spread of disease and among inmates, jailbreak, and sanitation problems, which will eventually affect the locality wherein the jail is situated. It is believed that the interests of the prisoners and detained, as well as the eye of the locality, shall be better viewed in the city and municipal jails are placed under the direct supervision and control of the local government unit concerned. Under the proposed measure, the funds allocated of the operation and maintenance of city and municipal jails should be transferred to the local government units. Prison, penitentiary, jail. Distinguished. In the Philippines, there is a distinction between jail and prison. A jail is defined as a place of confinement for inmates under the investigation, undergoing trial, or serving short-term sentences. Jail includes provincial district or city and municipal jails managed by supervised by the provincial government and Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, or BJMP. Municipal, city, and prisoners are committed to the municipal, city, or jails managed by the BJMP, where the imposable penalty for the crime committed is more than 6 months, and the same is committed within the municipality. The offender must serve his or her sentence in the province jail, which is under the office of the governor, where the penalty imposed exceeds 3 years by the offender shall serve his or her sentence in the penal institutions of the Bureau. An act devolving the supervision and control over city and municipal from the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology to the government units and for other purposes. Section 1. There shall be a jail management and penology office hereinafter referred to as the jail office, and every province, city, and municipality consisting of offenders and members of the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, provided under Public Act Number 6975, other known as the Department of Interior and Local Government of 1980. Section number 2, supervision and control. The chief of the executive of the local government unit shall exercise the direct supervision and control over the office of the jails with its justification. Section number 3, fund allocation. The funds already allocated for the operation of the city and municipal jails be transferred by the BGMP to the local government units. Effectivity of this act shall be included in the annual budget of the local government unit concerned. Section number 4, separability clause. If for any reason, any provision of this act is declared unconstitutional or invalid, other parts of provision which are not affected thereby shall continue to be in full force and effect. Section number 5, repealing clause. The provision of Republic Act number 6975 and other laws, decrees, other rules, orders, and regulations or portions hereof inconsistent with this act are hereby repealed and modified accordingly. And last section is the section number 6, effectivity clause. This act shall be take effect 15 days along following its publication at least 2 or national newspaper of general circulation. That's all my discussion. Thank you.